Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Here.
Councilman Underwood. Councilman Wilkie. Councilman Waiter. Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Gray.
Here.
Councilman Cook. Councilman Tennant.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, gentlemen. Approval of the consent agenda. Tonight, for the warrants, we have a total of $365,794.63.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Aye.
As you were, roll call, I'm sorry.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Councilman Tennant.
Yes.
Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Cook. Councilman Waiter.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yes. Consent agenda has passed. Remarks of visitors. No one has indicated that they wanted to talk to the council, so we will move on to bids. Public Works, the Cromwell box culvert materials.
Yeah, this is the material only. The low bid from McCain Concrete Products is $9,584. We are putting the installation of the box culvert out as a separate bid. And we're able to save a little money by just purchasing the product and then hiring a contractor to install. So this is just for the materials only.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid of McCain Concrete Products for
I'll make that motion.
$9,584 for the culvert?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook.
Yep.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Tennant. Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Councilman Waiter.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yes. Motion passes. Next, we have a bid from the Parks Department for Sunset Park sidewalk and handrail replacement.
We received a number of bids on this project. The low bid was $24,685 from Bartles and Missy. That includes the demolition of the existing stairs and handrail. We budgeted $30,000 for this project. We did check references of Bartles and Missy and the subs that they use, and they all came back stellar. They've done a number of 7-Eleven parking lots and school districts.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid from Bartles and Missy for $24,685?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer. Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Tennant. Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yes.
Councilman Waiter.
Yes. Motion carried. Tonight we have bill number 4567 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4567, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, declaring a state of emergency within the city in order to employ measures to protect public life, health, safety, and property to limit the development, contraction, and spread of COVID-19, the disease creating emergency.
Do we have a staff report?
Happy to answer any questions. I know we had a chance to pass this around. I know I had some feedback from a couple of you to, just for clarification's sake, any of the proposed changes were included in here. I think the main concern was over parts F and G. The suspension of meetings and hearings is for any board or commission or meeting that would be below the city council. Section G is intended to accommodate just this particular instance, which would allow us to modify the time, place, and procedure of council meetings and agendas. I did also make sure that in section 1, that while we're tentatively placing this at a 90-day timetable, the council may rescind this ordinance with 24 hours notice. Happy to answer any questions.
My question was on the F, and you answered it.
Okay.
I have mine at 5, I guess. I assume you know mine was still doing.
Is there any other discussion on the bill? Hearing none, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read bill?
I wanted to say just a couple things. I'm sorry, I was like trying to figure out my computer. I just wanted to say I think it's awesome, the bill. I read it, and I want to say that if we could find more ways in addition as the future comes. I know that with this meeting, it was, we had to do it fast with COVID, but in future, I would like to see what we can do to help our small businesses, family-owned and operated, and our community, like the community as a whole. And I've talked with some small businesses, and they're down to help do what they can and donate what they can. I know that that's not necessarily a City of Festus thing all the way, but if we could also push our canned food and cereal non-perishables drive during this time, I think that would be important to note. Thank you. Go back on.
Any other discussion?
I couldn't hear what you said.
Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read the bill 4567 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read the bill for the second time in title only?
Bill number 4567, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, declaring a state of emergency within the city in order to employ measures to protect public life, health, safety, and property, to limit the development, contraction, and spread of COVID-19, the disease-creating emergency. Councilman Wilkie?
He's absent presently.
Councilman Waiter?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Tennant?
Yes.
Councilman Underwood?
Yes.
Councilman Dennis?
Yes.
Councilman Boyer?
Yes.
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Not yet. Kyle, can you hear us?
Kyle, are you there?
No.
Bill 4567 has passed. Resolution 4567 and a half. Would the clerk please read the resolution?
Resolution number 4567 and a half. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, adopting the pandemic preparedness plan and establishing an effective date.
This has been, most recently, we were able to kind of finalize this up with the help of Brian and his counterpart, Julie Benz, I believe.
Julie Devine is her name.
I'm sorry. The main incorporation that we've added recently was to incorporate the Family Fairness Act which came about just last week. The difference there, it's an extension of FMLA. The main difference from FMLA to the Family Fairness Act is that if they take the 10 days, the first 10 days of leave under FMLA, under our policy, is it's unpaid. I'm sorry, it requires them to use any accrued time. The difference here is it doesn't require them to take any accrued time. They're able to take it as unpaid. On day 11, the 14-day window kicks in, and then during those 14 days, they are able to be compensated at 100%. The Congressional Act was at 80% of their total salary, so the city is going above and beyond by compensating our employees. If they choose to take the Family Fairness Act leave, they would be compensated 100% during that time, yes.
Is that where you can't just say you have to be diagnosed with?
Well, under the Family Fairness Act,
Not
there's
that.
the addition, the big addition to it is it also makes provisions if you have children that are out of school or daycare. So you don't have to have it, but if the school, the daycare has been closed because of the coronavirus, because of the pandemic, it allows them to also take leave. Other than that, the FMLA, the way this would work is that you have to either be diagnosed, have a member of your family diagnosed, someone at their place of work would have had to have been diagnosed, or if your community, for those who live outside of Festus, if they're in another community that's under a declaration of pandemic, they would be able to take the leave at that time.
Greg, this is not a permanent amendment to our policy.
No.
This is just an emergency plan.
Correct. So what we tried to do is craft a pandemic preparedness plan, and then because of the action by Congress last week, we put the Family Fairness Act as an addendum to this. So the leave just for this year, and it's very specific on the last page of this, it's just for 2020, just for COVID-19. Otherwise, we will then have a pandemic preparedness plan that would continue, and we would be able to use it the next time this happens, because it'll happen again.
Is there any other discussion? Could I have a motion to approve resolution number 4567 and a half?
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Still action. Thanks, Jeff.
Resolution 4567 and a half has passed. We have bill number 4568. Would the clerk please read bill 4568 for the first time?
Bill number 4568, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a contract with Bartles and Missy Construction, remodeling for Sunset Park, sidewalk and handrail replacement, incorporating said contract as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Staff report, please.
This is the bid you just approved. Any questions? Happy to answer.
Is there any other further discussion on this bill? Hearing none, may I have a motion to suspend the rules and read bill 4568 for the second time in title only?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those against say nay. Hearing none, the motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you read bill 4568 for the second time.
Bill number 4568, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a contract with Bartles and Missy Construction Remodeling for Sunset Park sidewalk and handrail replacement, incorporating said contract as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Weiner?
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie? Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Tenen?
Yes.
Councilman Underwood?
Yes.
Councilman Dennis?
Yes.
Councilman Boyer? Councilman Cook?
Councilman.
Bill 4568 has passed. Bill 4569. Would the clerk please read Bill 4569 in title only, please?
Bill number 4569, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the plat of Hunt's Home and establishing an effective date.
Staff report.
This is currently, was a single-family home that was destroyed more than 50% by a fire. What they're doing is they're taking the smaller lot and combining it into an adjacent lot for a larger lot. So it will tear down an older and now burnt out single-family home and increase the size of the lot right up there off of Rankin.
Is there any discussion on Bill 4569?
Seems like it'd be approved.
No, here. Sorry, it took me a bit to get logged back in. I had some technical difficulties with my internet.
Is there any discussion on this bill? Hearing none, could I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4569 for the second time in title only? So moved. Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4569 for the second time?
Bill number 4569, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the plat of Hunt's Home and establishing an effective date. Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Boyer?
Yes.
Councilman Dennis?
Yes.
Councilman Underwood?
Yes.
Councilman Tenen?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Just a second, just one
Mhm.
minute. It says consolidate lots 41 and 42 both are vacant,
Because the house is considered lost, total loss.
and then the other one's in the line. Yes.
Councilman Wilkie?
Yeah.
Councilman Weiner?
Yes. Bill 4569 has passed. We have Bill 4570. Would the clerk please read Bill 4570 for the first time?
Bill number 4570, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving Festus Steak and Shake subdivision consolidation plat and establishing an effective date.
Staff report, please.
If you start at page 47 of your packets, it gives you the overview of what's going to happen. The red dotted line on the description there, on the picture there, that's the current dividing line between the Steak and Shake parking lot and the lot that is owned behind it by Brewery. That line would be erased, and then the new property line would be the new green dotted line. So essentially making the Steak and Shake lot as long and as deep as the existing Lockheed Inn property directly next to it.
Well, this is the consolidation too.
Correct.
They're gonna make this a parking lot or?
Currently, it's used as a parking lot. It would be for future use.
Question.
Yeah.
Just it's a long time ago, but when the motel originally went in, you might want to check in the back, and I don't care even if it's agreement, I'm gonna vote for it, I was gonna say that. But it might have been because the parking didn't reach.
Matt and I talked about the parking, and the parking's actually
Park
out
there
there.
where it couldn't, what was wrong? What was actually, it wasn't.
This will be used as overflow parking for either property, so it will still meet the
Oh, I
requirement.
don't plan on ever building it. Okay.
Not all the way back there, no.
Okay.
Can you,
Thank you.
can you explain to me where on that lot is again? I couldn't hear you and I'm fixing my,
So where the gravel lot starts currently, that would be consolidated into the Steak and Shake lot. So essentially, if you walk all the way to the back of the La Quinta lot and look immediately to the east, everything there would be combined into the Steak and Shake lot. So you take the existing Steak and Shake lot and the gravel lot behind it. That's being combined.
okay. Is that different than when Smoothie King came in, the stuff that was MoDOT land in front of
No,
there?
there's no MoDOT right away here. No MoDOT right away involved here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Is this being proposed by the current property owner?
Current property owner.
I'm sorry?
Current property owner.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion on Bill 4570?
Hang on a second, sir.
Okay,
What's the purpose of the back lot?
They're expanding the size of the front lot. Perhaps. For future use.
Probably future if they sell that one, it's a bigger lot.
Correct.
I'm being honest. Is that, I'm being honest, whatever you are, is that a private road? Not sure.
That's an extension of Canyon.
It is ours then, we do plow.
Correct.
The road used to go on through down to the trailer park, remember that?
No, this is over there, on the other side of the
Is it on the other side?
This is way over by Fazoli's, this is next to Fazoli's.
What road went down by that trailer park?
That's over there by.
Oh, that's over by 7-Eleven.
It's over by 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
This lot's behind the flower shop, those guys are right behind.
Okay.
We good? I think we're good, sir.
all righty. Since there's no other discussion, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4570 for the second time in title only?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you read Bill 4570 for the second time?
Bill number 4570, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving Festus Steak and Shake subdivision consolidation plat and establishing an effective date. Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Gary, did you say, subdivision plat? I couldn't hear you very
Yes,
well.
the Festus Steak and Shake subdivision consolidation plat. That's what it's called on the plat, the legal description.
Okay. Yes, sorry, I just wanted to
Councilman Gray.
clarify.
Yes, did we do the thing when we read the second time?
We did, this is it.
Yes.
Councilman Timmons. Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Bill 4570 has passed.
Hang on a second, sir, we have a question.
Okay,
On the motel and the, that's two different lots as well. Is that owned by the-
Speak into the microphone, please.
I don't know the exact ownership of the Bob Evans lot. I know obviously the La Quinta lot is owned by Drew.
Was that a public question?
No, that was a question from Jim.
Oh, okay. And then, so did you say that that's gonna be a city lot
No,
or they're gonna do something with it?
no, that, it's an expansion of the existing lot for future use.
Okay.
Okay?
And do you have any idea on the plans, what they're gonna do with that?
Not at this time.
And how many acres is it, or what's the size?
With it being a consolidation, it automatically just goes with the existing use until.
Correct.
Yeah, it automatically just goes with the stake and say use until the future.
The acreage, looks like 3.32 acres.
Okay, thank you. And if you could, try and get work from Drury Industries or whomever owns that property, see kind of what their plans are, I would appreciate that.
It's owned by the owner of the Steak and Shake, Kyle.
Oh, Steak and Shake, okay, so it's, okay. And you don't know who owns that? Is it
It's
local
the
someone?
Festus Steak and Shake Corporation.
Right, but, okay, perfect. Hopefully they're gonna fix that drive-through area, because it's
I think they'll do more than that.
one of the worst around, and I'm glad it's still around, though.
Is there any other discussion?
Any other discussion?
Hearing none, I'm going to declare Bill 4570 passed.
Sir, real quick, if I could,
Yes, go
just
ahead.
give you all a briefing on what we plan to do with our employees. Obviously, police and fire is a completely different kind of set of rules. All of us met today with the intent of trying to move forward and minimize not just public contact, but also contact amongst each other. Wednesday, we would look to move to what I would call an A-B schedule, meaning we will split staff in half. This doesn't apply to department heads, they'll still report to work as usual. But we would look to have staff for Monday, Tuesday, and then a second shift for Wednesday, Thursday. And then try to give the buildings a 3-day break, meaning that obviously with the lifespan of this virus on hard surfaces being about 3 days, that the offices would be closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we would be back at it. The intent, I think all along, you made it very clear to me that we want to make sure that we keep our employees whole, and we will do that moving forward. So we'll be a bit of a pare down as far as who's on duty. Now, everybody is being told, and hopefully they understand that during these interesting times, that just because we're giving you essentially a day or two to stay at home, which is what the order from the county executive and the county health director is, that you're still on call, that we said if we need you, we can call you. We're paying you to be available to us between the hours of 7 and 4 or 8 and 5 or whatever the case may be. Our regular on-call would still apply outside of regular business hours. And obviously for the weekends as well. So happy to.
Question, Greg.
Yeah.
Since we're closing City Hall and adjusting schedules, shouldn't that be brought to council, or shouldn't it be a council decision?
We're not closing City Hall.
We're closing on Friday,
We are closing on Friday.
so we are closing City Hall.
We are basically limiting the schedule to 4-day weeks.
Shouldn't that be brought to us though for discussion?
All right, then that's what we're doing.
No, I'm asking a question, Tom.
No,
It sounds like the decision's already been made. I'm just.
No, it hasn't been made. It hasn't been made.
What's on the
That
agenda?
doesn't read it past us. What you're trying to say.
What's on the agenda?
Obviously, this was something that was very fluid and was talked about at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm bringing it to you now so that we can talk about it. That's why I interrupted and I was talking about it right now.
I apologize, I took it as you were updating us.
No, I'm updating you over the fact that we talked about this today, and everybody was told that we will give them the final go-ahead at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with another staff meeting. So unless there's any objections, that is the plan I would like to use moving forward.
You got time to discuss.
Absolutely.
Thanks for asking that, Mike. I was a little unclear on some of that also from the emails.
The boys work 2 days.
We're going to limit them to 2 days of exposure here at the city.
Still get paid the full.
At full 40.
I know the county, what division I'm under, we just changed out, we went 9 to 4. Some divisions are installed through, so are we doing that with our shifts? So the only people we need here 5 days, you, Matt, Justin, Terry,
You will be here forward.
and keeping the help.
I had a meeting this morning with all the other city administrators, and we were trying to formulate a plan, so if we're gonna do something, let's do it in concert with each other, so that we match in some way. We felt that that was the best way to do it, to still maintain a level of service. Obviously, we're still getting phone calls, we're still collecting mail, we still got bills to pay. So we need people here as much as we can, but while trying to honor the stay-at-home order and still maintain basic city essential city functions.
Good question.
Yeah.
So, half of each department crew would work Monday, Tuesday, the other half come in
Wednesday, Thursday.
and they're on call.
Absolutely. Everybody, during that 40-hour work week, Monday through Friday, okay, if we need anybody for anything, we'll be able to call them, okay? We want to make sure that we make that as clear as possible to our employees, that it's not a 5-day vacation, that we expect them to be available in the event that we need them for anything.
Okay, what happens, they get a call, they've been off 2 days, you get a call on Friday, no overtime, right? I mean, it's just-
Correct. If it's between normal working hours, it would be no overtime. If it's outside the normal working hours, okay, so 10 o'clock at night, that'll be an overtime situation. If it's outside the normal hours of work. Not for very long.
That's what I'm saying, like.
I mean, it's sustainable, it's just not sustainable for long.
Are you still gonna build a house on Friday? So what happens to the inspections?
We're doing inspections this day on new.
So they can start the inspection on Friday and inspect them now. So like, we'll take the city car and respond to their house, right?
Or if they need to come into work and drive from work to the inspection site. We've got plenty, as you can tell, we've got plenty of new construction going on, so we're not delaying any of those at all. We're doing them under our normal operating procedure.
Just whoever did that you guys discussed, so there's probably, I assume we're going, because there's less of a chance when they leave here, they'll stay away from people. Because if you leave here and you're off and go to Walmart and go something, you got a way better chance of you're shutting down the shed or fixing the water leak.
The concern,
for the reason.
yeah, well, Walmart's a bad example, because the stay-at-home order still
Wherever
allows
they
you,
want to go. I don't decide, wherever they want, we want to go.
the stay-at-home order obviously still allows you to go to the grocery store, allows you to go to the pharmacy, allows you to use gas. But other than that, they're asking you to restrict all those other activities. What we're trying to do is minimize the possibility of somebody bringing the virus into a city
I
building.
guess that's what I'm asking, with that not maximum. Instead of being just around us, if we came in.
Because they're still going home at
And we
night.
switched, and exactly, that's what I'm saying, so I'm saying, so exactly. Chance of. I mean, where does it, so like if us 6 were here, and they always came here, and now those 3 are gonna come in 3 days, and we're gonna come 3 days. But there are gonna be a heck of a lot more people that say now, instead of just staying 10 feet away from us 3, they're gonna have a better chance of coming back in here.
Well, by working a split shift, by splitting the time up, you're not having a full boat all in say the same department all at one time.
Exactly, I'm saying when they leave here. Instead of being around.
It's the same conversation I have with my guys today. To me, it's only as good as the people are.
Right. If they abide the order, okay, and aren't out doing other stuff and putting themselves at risk, they're not putting fellow employees at risk.
I think what Bill's saying is, okay, you spend 8 hours together, if you're, like say, public works, you have 20 people in there, keep everybody working.
you speak in the microphone, please?
Yes.
I never I'm hearing.
If it's something else doing that, then have 2 days off, nothing to do, and going out, Walmart.
Because when they're here, like the girls here, you're here. I'm done in the state, 10 feet, whatever you're doing, which is good. You can see that. They leave, there's no chance. They pay what it costs, that's great. But here, you know it's fine, that you're the boss and you make a problem. So that's what I'm
In
getting
the
at.
spirit of what's going on, where do you think they're gonna go to?
Right now, it wouldn't be spreading it. That's what's going on.
You know what I'm saying? They gotta go get food, they gotta get gas. they gotta get
Exactly.
drugs. So, I mean, there's no perfect plan, but this is a plan.
No, I totally agree with you. It's just, you know, I went to Home Depot Saturday, I was gonna get something. The parking lot was at home. And, you know, I just sit in my truck and watch it come out. And they're just carrying instructions about.
Oh, sure.
Because everybody is going to be remodeling their houses, it looks like. So what they're doing is people sitting home anyhow, they're not just gonna sit there and watch TV, they're gonna just be doing stuff. And I know it doesn't make a difference which way it goes, but I kind of agree with Bill, you know.
We need to get more common sense.
And we don't need those people all the time.
I think the larger issue is because of the Family First Act was passed by Congress last week, the executive order from the Jefferson County Health Department today, we're trying to do something that is in the spirit of what both those are encouraging us to do, which is for the people to be at home.
That's probably the way for it to stay in spirit, because we're trying to do something, and that just sounds.
Yet we're still trying to keep the lights on and make sure, and there's no doubt what Bill's saying, that we can get a lot done. But because I think of what this pandemic is the opposite of what we're used to. I don't know if Kevin if you and I talked about this, but when there's an emergency, the trick is to restore normalcy as quickly as possible. And this is actually asking us to disassemble normalcy. We're going in the opposite direction in order for things to get better. And
How are you gonna handle, free workers and things like that? I mean, is it gonna be, like, what I did, Greg, was, so I'm losing the job, so they're not able to run for each other. So
Correct.
I got one group here, another group over there, this group does some, which, again, I don't know if that's gonna help, or maybe the same way as city workers, you know, you got to set the 5 or 6 guys on the job, 2 or 3 hours.
that's the idea, is to run it. It's going to be a tighter operation during this time. That's the intent, is to get it, to minimize. Last week when we decided to limit access to the lobbies and to the public library, it was to minimize the contact between the public and the public with us. But this has gotten to the point now with these declarations, with these stay-at-home policies. It's more of, we need to just eliminate as best we can contact with each other. But the city still has to function. We have stuff we have to do.
Two questions, not yelling, speak loud, so right here. How long does this last? What happens if employees need homebound at schedule and they're seen out at the park, Lowe's, Home Depot, but they're still on city pay clock and they're not abiding by our rules? So if you can answer them two questions, I appreciate it.
Sure. So first question,
How long?
as long as needed and ended as soon as we get the all clear.
Some people are saying it's gonna last through August, some people said another month.
I think the with the order from the county is until April 23rd. So I think that's a starting point as far as that. As far as people being out and about, I think there would be some serious consideration towards some form of disciplinary action. We're not giving you time off to go play. We are giving you time off to abide by a governmental restriction, a pandemic crisis, and we need you to be safe and we need you to be healthy. We ask you to take care of yourself and be available if we need you.
That basically was it.
Thank you, Greg.
The 23rd
I have a
is
follow-up
the best
question,
bet. I would expect the 23rd to
for that.
be extended.
Thank you, Mike, also for speaking loud enough for me to hear you, because I'm
Kyle,
having
can you
trouble.
start over again, please?
Yeah, I had a follow-up question to Mike's, and I wanted to thank him for speaking loudly enough for me to hear. So as far as county and state, I know that our state is doing their stuff and our county's doing their stuff. Have you spoken to Dennis Gannon out at the county or anyone other than anyone at the state to see what Missouri's doing to make sure that people that are out are for necessities only and things of that nature?
Anything that we have from the state is, we've been referred to the latest release from the governor, which was his on Saturday. Obviously.
Okay. They're reconvening on the 30th, I think. They went to recess and play.
I don't know about that. What I can speak to is that we did speak with Dennis Gannon and Kelly Vollmer over the weekend. We had an
Is that
indication.
the health department lady, Kelly Vollmer?
Correct.
We had a woman, sorry.
We had an indication that the county would be making a move like they did today, which is the reason why we rescheduled this meeting for today at 5.
Thank you for that. Also,
Because we were in anticipation of something changing, and we wanted to be as ready for it as we could.
all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Does this take effect if we go with it?
I would hope to enact it on Wednesday. It gives us 24 hours to tomorrow to get the schedules lined out and kick it in on Wednesday.
Will we be up to speed on all of that communication also via email or some sort of
Certainly,
communication?
certainly.
So
Thank you.
I have a question. With it being somewhat of emergency operations, what the legalities of communications? So you can give us emails, informative emails of what's going on.
We will.
We can call you.
If it comes down to where, and Brian, correct me if I'm off on this, but if we have, the way I understand the law, but the sunshine law, but it could be different because of these extreme circumstances. There has to be a quorum present, is that correct?
Generally, yes. There are a couple, there's one law, and this just is not exceedingly clear. And there's an argument that in certain circumstances, you may be able to do it with everyone telemeeting. But that is, conservative approach is definitely, yes, you need a quorum physically present. We may be able to explore options to do less than a quorum present if circumstances dictate.
Okay,
I
so,
also think, I'm aware that there's an effort in Jefferson City to remove some of the ambiguity in the statute and maybe make that
in an extreme case, could this entire meeting be done by video conference?
Pardon?
In an extreme case, could this entire meeting be done by video conference?
Probably, yes.
Okay. So, the idea being that if we need to
We
vote,
would need to make provisions regardless for the public to be able to pay it.
if we need to vote, obviously, if we gotta pay bills, final approval, all that, still gotta come through. Nothing changes as far as council's authority, and it's just gonna be modified, as it said in the ordinance tonight. We have the ability to modify the method and means with which we have meetings. As far as communication, hopefully I've kept you in the loop to date. If there's more information or if you guys have questions, you know you can get me anytime. Text messages usually work best to get my attention, and I can respond after that. But for the most part, I think we do our best to try to keep up. Unfortunately, a lot of this, as I'm sure all of you know, sometimes you catch it first on Facebook, sometimes you catch it first on one of the newspaper or news websites. So that's something that we're going through every day. I will give some credit to the county executive. His office has been very communicative with us. He, Kelly, and Warren, his emergency management guy, were at a meeting we had last week regarding all of this. So we've been getting good communication with from Jefferson County on that.
If I might interject just a little bit, I'm only hearing bits and pieces because the sound is breaking up. But I think the object of this, you know, we're in tough times, and we have to balance keeping our employees safe and keeping the city running. I would be there right now with you guys if it wasn't for this cough that I had, because I didn't want anything for you all to get. But we have to balance what's safe for the employees, but yet keeping the city running. So I personally think this is a good plan, and we need to go with it. We can modify it down the road if we need to, but we do need to take some action right now because we've just now been notified that the county is restricting all movement, wanting people to stay in place. Now, we can't enforce or keep our neighbors or our friends from doing what they're going to do. We can only highly encourage, but I think that this, we'll put something out encouraging the citizens to stay at home, stay in place, except for the times that they have to go out to get groceries or whatever the emergency may be. But I think we need to pass something, and I would urge you all to pass this to allow this policy to go into effect tonight.
I would agree with that, and I'm happy that we're being proactive, regardless of inaction of other cities or our state. I'm happy to be informed about things and have been happy all weekend as I'm a science nerd and know more than I care to know bacteria, viruses. So thank you, Sam and Greg, for keeping us all up to speed on things. And if anyone needs help, like I've offered with the technology or you can call me, text me, FaceTime me. I can come show you virtually. I have trainings that I've made for my classes. So we're all friends, we're all neighbors, and reach out if you need that, because I realize it's difficult to never use some of the and especially if something simple is going on mute, so there's not that. So thank you, Sam and Greg. I appreciate it.
I have one more question, please, if everybody can hear me. Was this plan designed, are we following like an infectious disease control position?
Yeah, the idea more than anything else is to give the facility 3 days of rest, but still be able to be open and minimize staff contact with the facility.
But this was created, this isn't a Mike Cook creation. This was created by the CDC.
No, it's not from the CDC. No. I think it was collectively over the last certainly week, talking with other administrators, talking with my counterparts here in the southern part of the county. What's the best way? If you do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you do longer shifts. So how do we minimize staff's contact with the facility and give the facility time to rest? If you think of all of our buildings as also kind of a living organism, that they need 3 days for this thing to die off. If somebody comes in and infects the building, we need to give it that 3 days of rest. And plus it just gives us, if somebody does test positive, that's 3 days, that's an extra day, possibly an extra 5 days that gives us time to react in the event that we have an employee that tests positive. And if that's the case in a particular department, that gives us the ability to react and say, we gotta shut that facility down because everybody potentially going to.
So during the 3 days, will we disinfect our areas?
We are, all of our sanitation crews, we have, 3 people that work on, the facilities that we have. They've stepped up everything here just the last week, obviously, with the public not here, public spaces have been, focused on, but we haven't been really able, as effectively as possible, to also address the non-public spaces, the workspaces. Obviously, employees have been doing it on their own, which is great, but I think we can focus on that a little bit more.
I think with a certain general, I was reviewing some of his information this morning after I talked to Dave and I tried to caught up on my work. In the spirit of what he's saying, I think that's right. Limited contact, keep the services going that we have to, only go out if you need supplies. So I really think we have to give this a try, guys. It may not be perfect, and if people are not gonna follow the rules, you're gonna be able to sit on their lap and make them. So hopefully everybody will continue to wash their hands, continue not to come to work sick and do the things that are taking. The next couple of weeks are real crucial in this pandemic.
I'm on mute, Brian. Sorry.
Sick
That was
people,
bothering you.
this could turn the whole thing around. This could be the difference of being all summer or maybe just another month or so. So I really think we got to put the faith in our leaders and let them do what we're paying them to do. Keep us abreast the best you can and move forward. So do we need a motion for this or?
I wanted to advise, obviously, if there were objections, but a motion and a roll, not even a roll call, but just a voice vote would be appreciated.
I make that motion. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to go with the policy that Greg has just briefed us on. Roll call, please.
Councilman Gray.
No.
Back on mute.
Councilman Tennant. Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer. Councilman Cook.
No.
Councilman Welke.
I'm sorry, I've been on and off the mute. And I'm sorry, I wanted to apologize to Brian that I was not on mute for some of it. But can you reread the?
It's the modified work schedule that we talked about.
Okay.
Hopefully you caught most of that, just whether or not you're in favor of moving forward or not.
Yes, and I think that sounds great, everything there. I would, in a future meeting or conference, Zoom, whatever we have to.
Carl, is that a yes?
Commercial cleaning that have been volunteering.
Kyle, was that a yes? Was that a yes vote or no vote?
Well, I wanted to put my input in first, and so that I can give my vote. If that's okay with you, Greg.
Well, we're in the roll call right now.
We're in the roll call right now.
Yes, and we can do more. Thank you, Sam. I can hear you. My background's Sunset Park, by the way. Pretty cool.
Councilman Wainer.
Yes. What's the count?
6-2. All right.
Pardon me?
Yes, 6-2.
6-2. Motion carries. Is there any other discussion? Shall we go around the room like we usually do? Councilman Cook, do you have anything?
Yeah, real quick, I apologize.
Real loud.
The reason for my no vote is I wanted to find more. I think just planning a short work week for staff, but not identifying or changing roles and responsibilities, I think we can go farther and deeper. I think we need to. I'm still concerned about our public work employees in the public working, still worried about our city inspectors. Are we paperless? Are we still taking paper? Are we all electronic? That's why I voted no. I think we can come up with a deeper, better plan than just saying, let's just give a couple of days off and see how it works. I want to encompass all of that. But I read that, but it doesn't clarify like how our inspector would be doing it. It doesn't really clarify how police officer contact is. It doesn't clarify how EMS or fire's contact is. It doesn't even tell me what the firehouse is doing. Like, what are they doing internally to keep away from each other? And that's what I'm saying. That's why it's a no vote on my end. We can do more, but thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
I agree, Mike. Thank you for speaking up. Sorry for talking too much during the vote. Sorry, Sam, you look like you're getting frustrated. I apologize to everyone. Thanks for speaking up, Mike. I agree with you. We need to do more.
Okay, is that your comment?
No, I have more. I wanted to thank Mike so that I could hear him and speak up. I was on mute the whole time though.
Okay,
So,
why don't you go ahead and give your comments right now?
Okay. So I want to first off thank everyone at the city for what they're doing, keeping not only the city workers and staff safe, but also trying to keep the community safe and doing what we can and being proactive on this. As I've been following this since it started in Italy weeks ago, and I watch the news a lot. I'll leave it at that, since this will be on YouTube. And so I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing. I'm sorry that there's been some frustration via our electronic communication lately. And I sincerely mean that. I've been a little bit rude, but I also think that we need to have a conversation about communication, and especially in this millennial generation, or Generation X or Z, or whoever's on the council, baby boomers. I think we need to have something, and I have stuff that I can share, and I'd be glad and willing to, like I said, in emails and text, that I can help with any of that technological. I think we should have something in the leader explaining what we're doing, and we need to have something on not just the city website, but something sent out, because even my mail lady, for example, was worried because it can live on packages for, well, quite a while, up to 15 days, just if it's in the right environment. So I think that we need to do more as far as putting pressure on whatever we can so that our city and our neighbors are doing exactly what we're trying to do here. So getting gloves for frontline workers like post office people who touch packages from all over all day, or figuring out how we can help with the resources that we have, having our park staff make the parks look good since it's spring, so that this summer, when we've got this kind of contained, and who knows how long this could be, quite honestly, with the numbers that I've been watching and the cases in Jefferson County and St. Louis and the deaths. So while it sounds like I'm being very cold right now, my heart is heavy for all of these people that are having to change their lifestyles so that they can continue to live their life. So as far as that goes, as much as we can do with the resources we have, with leftover funds, with the public safety tax or the airport funds, which we should keep in reserve unless it's something small. We need to do those things as a city, and from talks with Brian and Mike and Phil, whoever else I've talked to, it sounds like they're on board. I know Jim's on board with the tennis court storage so that Festus can use it, or people can also use it. We need to have something there for when school's back in session, whenever that may be, so that facilities are good. Everything in the city parks have been sanitized. There's free things that you can have that done. We need to look into those sorts of things, and that's all I have to say. And I'm sorry if it's sound like I'm shouting. It's just hard sometimes when you're doing it through technology or text, and it's hard to read tone. So I hope everyone heard that. If you didn't, I apologize. Thanks, Sam.
All righty, thank you. Councilman Boyer.
Have nothing, sir.
Councilman Dennis.
Thanks for the good work. Mike brings up good points. Keep building on this. He mentioned the CDC. Mike's a smart guy. He's got his pulse on the county over there, so that's an asset for us, so, continue on, CDC, any information we can get, post things, work in. But I really think we're moving, we're being progressive, we're doing the right thing, so let's just build on what we got going, you know, but let's show unity here as a team, because these are tough times, and we're gonna make it through it, we're Americans, so that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Councilman Underwood.
Well, sir, I think we are moving in the right direction. And we have a council that's very much aware of some of the things that are going on. There's a lot of news out there. We'll bring it in here, we'll bounce it around, and see what we come up with. I thank you for the opportunity, man.
All right. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Cannon.
One day at a time, we'll be a lot stronger when it's all over, and I'm sure we're all gonna learn a lot. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Gray.
Thank you. I know I'm a contrarian a lot of times. I don't do it for any of making you guys mad. I just did my conscience. I thought it would be safer with people being controlled and not controlled, so it was nothing personal to anybody. I just sincerely disagree. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilman Weiner.
Yes, sir. So these are uncharted waters, gentlemen. And so, you know, in the past, when I started talking about this, we're there now. And I think that Greg and the mayor and everyone is doing the best they can with the situation we have at hand. So I think that we need to be nimble and be able to adapt to situations as they change. Greg, thank you for what you've done. Sam, for what you've done. I believe, Greg, I'm really happy. There's a lot of things that are good. The increased cleaning that you're doing for the different facilities, I think is really, really important right now. Mike, you spoke about shared responsibilities, and I think that unless I've misinterpreted this, and I apologize if I have, but I think we need to look at cross-sharing responsibilities of workers so that they aren't necessarily just dedicated to the jobs that they've been assigned to, but be able to have backup roles for them in different departments. And Kyle, I think you're correct when you talked about the increase in communications. I would like to see us speaking or communicating better with the council so that we have perhaps more updates, better status of where we are, because things are changing so fluidly. And I think with our citizens that it's very important for us to be able to let them know where we are and what we are doing, and that we are doing everything in their best interest. That's all I have, sir.
All righty, thank you, Brian. I'd just like to add real quick. Yes, we're on uncharted territory, but we can adapt and we can do what we need to do. You know, you all have heard me say this before, but it applies to all of us now. You can delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. We're all responsible for our citizens. And ultimately, Greg and I are responsible for the whole place. And I take that responsibility seriously, and I'm glad you all do too. We'll continue to do what we need to do to keep the city running and to keep our citizens safe. And that's all I have. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion's been made.
Second.
And seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, Meeting adjourned.